Oh, okay. Yeah. And actually, we have some snacks.
মামুকে বলে রাখি, মামুকে পাচ্ছি না। সবাইকে আসতে বলো।
আর চাদর বিছাও কি? চাদর আপনি কোথায়
চাদর আছে, এখানেই বসতে হবে।
এমনি চাদর আছে, সাদা নাই।
এখন আসলে অসুবিধা না, তারপরে পড়ছে। সাড়ে ছোট
Jai Guru everyone. We are going to start the main event now to celebrate the holy 132 birth anniversary of Sri Thakur Anukulachandra in Sydney. We are very honored to have Chandra Sharmaji, who is an eminent personality here in Sydney in Fiji and Indian community. Chandra Sharmaji was ex-Deputy Prime Minister of Fiji and a prominent lawyer and living in Sydney for last 20 years or 10 years? 16 years in Sydney. So I would like to request Sharmaji to come to the stage and inaugurate the program by lighting the candles. Sharmaji. শাঁখ বাজিয়ে শাঁখ। শাঁখ আর বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম 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 বন্দে পুরুষোত্তমম। And now Sunandana would like to honor Harishchandra Sharma ji with a flower bouquet. Thank you, Sunandana. We honor again to have our chief guest today, Mr. Shamir Pandey. Shamir Pandey is the councillor here in Sydney, and we are very pleased to have him here with us today to celebrate the 132nd birth anniversary of Sri Thakur Anukulachandra. Again, this time our Manashima is going to give the flower bouquet to Shamir Pandey ji. So we'll start with prayer, followed by reading of holy books, and then I will get Sutanuda to organize this event. Sutanuda.
So we'll start with the prayer first. करो बीनती रख स्वामी आगे दया करो आगे इस चरण लागे जन्म जन्म रही भूल में नहीं पाया देवा काज कर्म के जान में रही हो रहेगा जगत जीवन नित्य चारों खाई दैवी जोगी प्रिय रहे सब मन की हारी हाथ जगा मेरा राधिका फिर सदगुरु आई राधा स्वामी धाम का मणि भेद जनाई उजारे सब अब अमर भिखारी बिना संत पावे नहीं सुख सब निशानी राधा स्वामी नाम की मही महिमा सुनाई अनुराग लगाए से घर पहुँच भाई साधु संग पर साध रस मैंने दिया खाए प्रेम लगा गुर चरण में मन संपन्न आए तड़प उठे बेकल रहो जैसे निकलहु बड़े मन चिरतारी सिरक चढ़े आकाश में करे शब्द विलासा नाम धाम निरखत चले और निज घर वासा यही आशा मेरे मन वसे रहे जीव उदासा विनय सुनो कृपा करो मेरे चरण निवासा तुम बिना कोई समर्थ नहीं जैसे मांगो दाना प्रेम धार वर्षा करो करो अमृत खाना दीन दयाल दया करो मेरे समर्थ स्वामी शुभर करू कावत रहूं निज राधा स्वामी तुम बिना कोई समर्थ नहीं जैसे मांगो दाना प्रेम धार वर्षा करो करो अमृत खाना दीन दयाल दया करो मेरे समर्थ स्वामी शुभर करू कावत रहूं निज राधा स्वामी शुभर करू कावत रहूं निज राधा स्वामी बार बार जोड़ता सविनय करूं पुकार साधु संग महि देवहित परम गुरु दाता कृपा सिंधु समर्थ पुरुष आदि अनादि अपार राधा स्वामी परम पितु मैं तुम सदा आभार बार बार बन जाओ तन मन और चरण पार जय मुखले मैं गाओ मेहर करी जस कृपा करो धन्य धन्य गुरुदेव दया सिंधु तुम बनी कृत करो तुम सेवा नर्मद भक्ति महि देव प्रभु दीन दीन हाथ साथ तुम्हारी करो अब राखो निज साथ दीन दयाल कृपा निधि काम क्रोध मद लोभ सब विधि अवगुण हार मैं प्रभु राखो मेरी लाज तुम दारे अब नहीं पड़ा राधा सावंत समरा तुम बिन और न दूसरा अब करो दया पर दर्शा तुम दारे जीवन होगे दया करो मेरे सैया मेरे और प्रेम किया दुख सुख कुछ गाते नहीं छूटे सब पार दया करो मेरे सैया मेरे और प्रेम किया दुख सुख कुछ गाते नहीं छूटे सब पार बार बार कर जोड़ कर सविनय करो पुकार साधु संग महि देवनित परम गुरु दातार साधु संग महि देवनित परम पिता गुरुदेव महेश्वर गुरुदेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्री गुरुवे सावरं जगमव्याप्तं येन दृष्टं चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे श्रीगुरुवे व्याप्तं त्रैलोक्यं चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नामरुदितं व्याप्तं नामरुदितं तत्ज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरुवे अन्नाथ श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु महात्मा सर्वभूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे गुरुरादिनादिश्च गुरुवारं दैवतं गुरुवारं परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरुवे ब्रह्मा Now we'll meditate for 5 minutes. Please maintain silence. Now we will read out from Thakurji's Satyam in Bengali, Hindi and English.
Jai Hind everyone. Satyam in Bengali by Anukulachandra. সংকুচি দুঃখ আর প্রসারণী সুখ, যাতে হৃদয়ে দুর্বলতা আসে, ভয় আসে, তাতেই আনন্দের খাতি, আর তাই দুঃখ। চাওয়াটা না পাওয়াই দুঃখ। কিছু চেও না, সব অবস্থায় রাজি থাকো। দুঃখ তোমার কি করবে? দুঃখ কারো প্রকৃতিগত নয়কো, তাকে ইচ্ছা করলেই তাড়িয়ে দেওয়া যেতে পারে। পরম পিতার কাছে প্রার্থনা করো, তোমার ইচ্ছাই মঙ্গল। আমি জানি না কিসে আমার মঙ্গল হবে, তোমার ভিতরে আমার ভিতরে তোমার ইচ্ছাই পূর্ণ হোক। আর তার জন্য তুমি রাজি থাকো, আনন্দে থাকবে, দুঃখ তোমাকে স্পর্শ করবে না। কারো দুঃখের কারণ হয় না, কেহ তোমার দুঃখের কারণ হবে না। দুঃখ একরকম ভাব, সুখও একরকম ভাব। অভাবের বা চাওয়ার ভাবটাই দুঃখ। তুমি জগতের হাজার করেও দুঃখ নষ্ট করতে পারবে না, যতক্ষণ তুমি হৃদয় থেকে এই অভাবের ভাবটা কেড়ে নিচ্ছ। ধর্মইটা করতে পারে।
I'm going to read out from Satsang written by Thakur and Anukulachandra. Contraction is rejection. Expansion is delight. There is lack of happiness in that which brings weakness and fear in the heart, and that is grief. Desire unfulfilled is misery. Don't expect anything. Be prepared for every situation. What can grief do to you? Nobody is miserable by nature. If one wishes, he can drive it out. Pray to the Supreme Father. They will be good. I don't know what will make me good. Let they will be fulfilled in me. And be prepared, be ready to accept that. Joy will remain and sorrow will not touch you. Be not the cause of another's grief. None will be the cause of your grief. Misery and happiness are both modes of mind. To lack the thoughts and deeds befitting the desire is misery. You may serve the world in 1,000 ways, but you cannot destroy its misery until the sense of inadequacy be removed from the heart. Dharma alone can do that.
सत्य अनुसार हिंदी अनुवाद। संकोच ही दुख है और प्रसारण ही है सुख। जिससे हृदय की दुर्बलता आती भय आता है, उसमें ही आदमी की कमी है और वही है दुख। चाह की अप्राप्ति ही है दुख। कुछ भी न चाहो, सब अवस्थाओं में राजी रहो, दुख तुम्हारा क्या करेगा। दुख किसी का प्रकृतिगत नहीं होता, प्रकृति करने से उसे भगा दिया जा सकता है। परमपिता से प्रार्थना करो, तुम्हारी इच्छा ही है मंगल। मैं नहीं जानता कैसे मेरा मंगल होगा, मेरे भीतर तुम्हारी इच्छा पूर्ण हो और इसके लिए तुम राजी रहो, आनंद में रहोगे। दुख तुम्हें स्पर्श नहीं करेगा। किसी के दुख का कारण न बनो, कोई तुम्हारे दुख का कारण न बनेगा। दुख भी एक प्रकार का भाव है, सुख भी एक प्रकार का भाव है। अभाव का यह चाह का भाव ही है दुख। तुम दुनिया के लिए 1000 करके भी दुख को दूर नहीं कर सकते जब तक तुम हृदय से उस अभाव के भाव को निकाल नहीं देते, और धर्म ही है उसे कर सकता है।
Now we will have readouts from Nari Niti in Bengali by Popima and in Hindi by Praveen Ma.
পরম করুণাময় শ্রী শ্রী ঠাকুর অনুকূল চন্দ্রের নারী নীতি থেকে পাঠ। সুখ ও ভোগ। সুখ মানে তাহাই যাহা বিংটাকে, সত্তা বা জীবনটাকে সুস্থ, সজীব ও উন্নত করিয়া পারিপার্শ্বিককে অমন্তর করিয়া তোলে। আর প্রকৃত ভোগ তখনই সেখানে তাহাকে অভিনন্দিত করে। নারীর বৈশিষ্ট্য। মেয়েদের বৈশিষ্ট্যে আছে নিষ্ঠা, ধর্ম, শুশ্রূষা, সেবা, সাহায্য, সংরক্ষণ, প্রেরণা ও প্রজনন। তুমি তোমাদের ওই বৈশিষ্ট্যের কোনো কিছুকেই ত্যাগ করিও না, ইহা হারাইলে তোমাদের আর কি রহিল।
नारी नीति हिंदी में। तुम मनुष्य की माँ जैसा अपना बनने की चेष्टा करो, पत्नी, सेवा और भरोसा से, किंतु भूल मिलकर नहीं। देखोगी कितने तुम्हारे अपने बनते जा रहे हैं। दूसरा, सेवा और सेवा का अलाप। सेवा का अर्थ बुद्ध है जो मनुष्य को सुस्वस्थ, स्वस्थ, उन्नत और आनंद कर दे। जहाँ ऐसा ना हो परंतु सुसुष्टा है, वह सेवा अपलाप को आह्वान करती है।
Next, we will have readout from the message by Rohan Thakur.
The message. Appeal with a humble rhyme. Oppose not one's views, present your intention appealing with a humble rhyme, be it accepted or not. your enemies will be few and far in between. Now, my favorite thing about Thakurji is you can see him through many lenses. So you can see him as a doctor, and of course he was a doctor, he in fact studied medicine. You can see him as a spiritual leader. You can see him as a teacher, as a physicist, or in this passage I see him as a psychologist. And what I take from this is actually a psychological technique so that you can maintain a conversation with someone who may be the complete opposite of you in terms of your viewpoints. So if I take this line by line, oppose not one's views. So as a simple example, let's say any one of you said, I like sweets. And I come up to you and say, no, eating sweets is bad and you're wrong for eating sweets. How would that make you feel? You'd feel that because sweets is part of who you are, it's part of your character, it's part of your livelihood, you'd feel that not only have I attacked your liking of sweets, I have attacked you as a person. And so obviously you would not take very kindly to my opinion and to my viewpoints. And then Thakurji continues to say, but present your intention appealing with a humble rhyme. So instead, if I approach that situation saying, brother or sister, I've been concerned over your health recently, and I've read that having too many sweets leads to increased blood sugar, weight gain, and increased heart disease. I've just been a bit concerned about your health, and I'm hoping that you can change that. You might have a different view, and you might be more accepting of my opinions. Be it accepted or not, your enemies will be few and far in between. So don't worry about whether or not they accept your viewpoints. Just as long as you make your point humbly and with respect, you'll find that best case scenario, they accept your views. Worst case scenarios, you still have good thoughts and words for each other. Thank you.
Just to the right. Right. Yeah, put it. This is the this way.
I'll start with a short introduction to Shree Thakur. My prayers at the lotus feet of Param Premamay Shree Thakur, Param Maratha, Yogajanani Sri Parama, Param Pujyapada Acharya Dev Sri Dada, and Param Pujyapada Sri Porta. My heartiest pra and joyful to all of you. Today we are assembled to celebrate the 132nd birth anniversary of our beloved Prophet Sri Thakur Anukulachandra. Do never die nor cause death, but resist death to death. This was an extreme optimism against a backdrop of extreme violence and sadness devouring the world, roared out by none other than Sri Thakur Anukulachandra Chakravarti. His clarion call to resist death of all sorts, physical and spiritual, has rejuvenated innumerable dwindling souls and awakened umpteen slumbering minds. He, with his life and sayings, with his own conduct and steps, has shown with great care and love how to enjoy life, live it to the full, with all its fine scents and colors, and get rid of the weeds in our character that threaten to spoil all joy and suffocate the vitality before time. Shri Thakur Anukulachandra was born on September 14, 1888 in Himayatpur village in the district of Pabna in Bangladesh to Shivachandra Chakraborty and Manomohini Devi. He started his formal education in Himayatpur village elementary school in 1893. In 1898, he was admitted to Pabna Institute and studied there up to the 8th grade. He did not complete his graduation. You know why? Because he gave away his registration fees, the registration fees for the matric exams, to a classmate who was crying because he did not have the money to pay the fees. Later, he was admitted to the Calcutta Medical College, having tested out of the school's high school diploma requirement. Being with steps to becoming with the living ideal at the pivot of life, that is the mantra he wanted to infuse in us as the key to that enjoyment. Enjoyment of life, not of passions. Give a free run to the passions, they'll burn you out into charred existence. Control them tightly, they will make you a ridiculous dwarf of a man. But adjust them properly, they will become the pillars of your existence. But this adjustment is possible only if there is someone in life who has successfully accomplished a meaningful adjustment of the passions and complexes. Now, so much so that his every look, every moment, every word, and every step appears sweet and beautiful to our senses. In the fragrant company of such a personality, the mind becomes free of all sorrows that weigh too heavy on the soul. His company and adherence slowly makes one adjusted, that is, beautiful in all respects, like a piece of iron in close proximity to a strong magnet. Sri Thakur Anukulachandra is one such man, whose magnetic charm and aura, whose simple yet gorgeous personality has drawn millions towards him. He has denied no time-tested ancient and traditional wisdom, but presented them in a sugarcoating of irrefutable reason from deep scientific aspects, making them conducive to the present needs. He has not only sieved out the problems throttling our existence, but has also offered solution. People, irrespective of caste, color, creed, and religion, have, during his lifetime and after, found in him the nearest fulfilling companion of their lives. Along with his followers, he moved from Himayatpur to Devakar on September 2, 1946, and after that, the Satsang ashram was built in Devakar. He did not formally establish or lay the foundation of the Satsang. Satsang evolved naturally, normally, and spontaneously around him. Philanthropic activities of Satsang seeped into those with a scientific bent of mind, and Pat came Vishwa Vigyan Kendra, World Science Center, where, with a few simple apparatus, began researches in various fields. Then came up the Satsang Chemical Works, where manufacturing of medicines based on Sri Thakur's formula began, followed by Satsang Press, Satsang Publishing House, and many other establishments as and when the necessity arose. Tapovan School was started with a particular focus on character building, self-dependence, in addition to regular studies. Satsang Anand Bazar was established by Thakurji's mother, Manomohini Devi. This was to feed all visitors and all refugees who didn't have the money to pay for food. Till date, this institution exists and feeds thousands of people twice a day, free of cost. Thakurji was visited by many eminent personalities, including the likes of Chittaranjan Das, who was his disciple, Mahatma Gandhi, parents of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who were also his disciples. One of his American devotees, his name was Ray Hauserman, he wrote a book titled Commitment to a Christian Renewal, Conversations with an Indian Sage, which describes Sri Thakur Anukulachandra's convergence philosophy in the West. Thakurji left for his heavenly abode on the 27th of Jan 1969. Thereafter, his eldest son, Amarendranath Chakraborty Shree Shree Borda, led the Satsang activities. Today, these activities are headed by Ashok Chakraborty, whom we lovingly call as Acharya Dev Shree Shree Dada. He is the grandson of Anukulachandra Chakraborty Thakur and son of Amarendranath Chakraborty. Satsang centers are present in multiple places around the world, including countries like US, Canada, UK, Australia, Singapore, Nepal, Myanmar, Bangladesh. Satsang Vihars in India are located in states like Gujarat, West Bengal, Assam, Tripura, Orissa, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, to name a few. Shree Shree Thakur summed up his teachings in 2 words: be concentric. So, our message to you here is accept Shree Shree Thakur in your life as the ideal and reorient your life around him and his teachings. You will witness your life becoming more and more meaningful as you spread your love in your surroundings, and the world will start to become a better place. Joy Guru. Now I'll call upon Kumar Krishnada to give a speech, please. Kumar Krishnada.
Good evening, Jai Guru. How are you? Good? Actually, here I am not for a speech. Time is 5 minutes, but I would like to hear from you a little bit. So, may I ask you a very simple question? What are the current challenges the world is experiencing? So, everyone, we have our own view and opinion. So what do you think? What are the most common challenges we are experiencing around the world now?
Lack of love.
Very good. Lack of love. Any other inputs, please, from the audience? Depression. Very good. Climate change. Very good, Mampo. Thank you. Environmental change. Very good. Okay. So at the universities, as I am an academic, so we are doing plenty of researches, lots of research we are doing to figure out, to try to, weigh out this kind of solution. However, have we thought ever, is there any solution or any theory has been provided by anyone else, like a simple person, a very simple person? You can see Sri Thakur Anukulachandra, at the same time, with a devotee, we would love to call him scientist, we would love to call him guru, we would love to call him our pathfinder. Many adjectives we try to use. But what are the rationale behind that? Yes, global climate change, as Mampu said, is a very young kid. But what Sri Thakur practiced in his life? In Satsang Ashram, to protect trees, Thakur used to forbid everyone not to build a high-rise building or to destroy the forest, to destroy the environment. So he predicted around 120 years back that environment would be the prime cause to survive in this world. So that is one issue. Nirosda kindly provided input, lack of love. Today I would like to say that one of the most problems is the sectarian conflict. If you look at the Middle East, if you look at the US, if you look at anywhere else, we are fighting with each other. Sometimes we are fighting that my religion is the best religion, my guru is the best guru. So that is the common problem all over the world. In addition to climate change, in addition to lack of love, so sectarian conflict has been very prominent across the globe. And you know that. And Thakur predicted that again long back. And he provided us a solution. What did Thakur said? I am reading out from his saying, from Satyanusaran, written by Sri Thakur. Sri Thakur warned all the humankind, all mankind. What is the solution provided by Thakur Anukulachandra 150 years back? Thakur said, "O mankind, if you desire to invoke your God, forget sectarian conflict. Be regardful to all the past prophets." What Thakur is saying or was said, "O mankind, if you desire to invoke your God, forget sectarian conflict. Be regardful to all the past prophets." So as being a Hindu, if you respect Prophet Muhammad, if you respect Lord Jesus, if you respect all the past prophets, according to our Thakur saying, according to the lesson provided by our beloved Thakur, that would solve more than 90% problems of the current world. And as Nirosda is saying, the lack of love, definitely. If we respect all the past prophets, as Thakur said, then if we love our Thakur, we can love Lord Jesus, we can love Lord Muhammad, we can love all the prophets. So that could solve. And when we attach to our Thakur, then love emerges in our heart. So when we love each other, then we love our environment, we love our neighbors, we love our parents, we love our kids. So that can solve thousands of problems that is prevailing in the current world. So then, since Thakur said in Bengali, "Sob samosyar samadhan janis ishto protishthan." What does it mean in English? All the problems you are encountering, if you wish to solve those problems, at first establish Thakur in your life. What Thakur just said, follow him in our everyday life. Love your parents, love your neighbors, love your environments. So love is the only coin, Thakur just said, by which you can purchase the world. So in his saying, I am quoting again, "Be concentric with every urge for love. Love is life, love is faith, love is law, love is a lead to active progress, love is God and His incarnation." So thank you so much for your listening. So what is the last sentence I would like to say again? As long as we are concentric, we love our beloved in our everyday thinking. As long as we are connected to the Almighty, we can think, we can solve most of our problems in our daily life. So we have to establish Thakurti. We have to establish Thakurti in our heart, in our activities, in every single moment. So that is the learning we learn from Thakurji. All the time we pray to Almighty so that we can stay connected with Him. Thank you so much. Jai Guru.
Thank you, Kumarda. Kumarda is incidentally a renowned professor in the University of Wollongong. Lecturer. And now I will call upon our Satsangi Amita from Nepal to give a short speech. Amita.
Jai Guru everyone. My name is Amit and I'm very proud to be a disciple of Sri Thakur, and I think it has been 21 years. I was initiated when I was very young, and today I'm not going to talk about Thakur because we have so many respected people who know a lot more than me. But what I'm going to talk about is my personal experience as to how it changed the meaning of our life, my family. Because as we all know that we all live in perceived reality. Our lives are framed into the dimension of what we actually perceive, and that may not be true. For example, a big car may give me happiness, or a big house may give me happiness. And those are perceived reality. Those are not the truth of life. And the sooner we understand about this, the better. So there is a process, a meditative process every morning that we do, every morning and evening. We meditate, which is also called Nam Dhyan. Meditation, now people interpret meditation in different ways, but what I believe is Satyanusaran, page 68 to 71, also talks about knowing the truth, understanding the truth, understanding, being connected to the source, having that character. And the meaning I derive from that is because we perceive the reality beyond what the real thing is, because we are unconscious human being. And Thakur actually holds our hand through meditation and teaching called Satyanusaran to walk to the path of awareness and awakening. There are two ways of awakening, knowing the real truth. Either we go into a trauma, an accident, which is accidental awakening, like Deng Wayne or Eckhart Tolle or Richard Branson or what's his name. These people actually went through those trauma in their life and they had that spiritual awakening. Oh my God, this human being, this is what I've been doing, and this is all what I've been doing, my actions are all wrong. This is what a human being is actually purposeful to do. And there is another way of awakening, which is through meditation. Now, the first part, as we are
Karuno ke
Now we'll call upon our respected guest, Samir Pandeyji, to please say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. I see a lot of Bengali faces. Keman acho? I can't stop myself asking Keman acho. I'm from Jamshedpur, and Bengali is such a sweet language that when I have an opportunity, I want to make use of it. It's my pleasure and privilege to be here among all of you in celebrating the 132nd birth anniversary of Shree Thakur Anukulachandra ji. Can I congratulate everyone in this room on Thakurji's birthday and organizing this very important event. Thakurji accepted his mother as Guru, and the teachings of Thakurji is as relevant today as it was in the lifetime of Thakurji. I'll touch on few of those teachings which I feel is so relevant today. My association with Thakurji has come through Puskarji and Ambu Thakurji. I've known them for a few years now, and I've attended some of these spiritual sessions that they organize. And I also acknowledge the former Deputy Prime Minister of Fiji, Harishchandra Sarmaji. Thank you for being here. The first teaching or first area which I would like to look at, say a few words on, is religion. Thakurji said that the Supreme Being is one and only one. God is one and all the prophets are the same. He said Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Muhammad have been the prophet and we should all respect them. Now this is very important. If we can only respect everyone's religion, life will be so much better for a lot of people. The second area which I would like to say a few words on is compassion. It has been said before as well that Thakurji, how he gave away his fees to someone he saw crying, and he foregone his own graduation, which stopped him from graduating. When he was practicing medicine, I gathered that he has been donating medicine and looking after people without any fees. He would accept anything, fruits, vegetables, towards the fees. This is the kind of compassion that we need in this society today. To do work selflessly, to look after people without any expectation of returns. And imagine if that can happen, how better our society and community will be. Thakurji said a lot of things about contentment and happiness. Whatever we do, there is two goals of it. And try to think about this, try to think of anything that we do. We are here today, and those two goals are happiness and contentment. We are here today for one of those things, one of those two things. We go to work, we make money, we run businesses, we get involved in associations, organizations, we run events. Whatever we do, the purpose is to be happy and content. We cannot be happy and content unless we are thankful and grateful for what we have. And that's why I think we must always be grateful and thankful for what has been given to us. And if we can only follow that teaching, I think we'll have a much better life, much better peace of mind, and a fulfilled life. Can I also say that we're all privileged in a way, or people who follow Thakurji, to have a mentor and guru such as Thakurji. It's very difficult in this day and world to find a guru. And I keep saying this to a lot of people in the young generation, that if you find someone as a mentor, you have saved several years of your life, because that mentor will give you not only the knowledge but the wisdom which is so much lacking in today's climate. The other area which I would touch on is education. Thakurji wanted to change or make radical change in the system of education. Thakurji said that more literature and learning is not education. A trained habit which includes intelligence with every consistency and makes the system habituated accordingly is education. Again, this is so relevant and important today. Education is about building future. I also keep saying that our education is not finished unless we pass on to someone. So the teachings of Thakurji that you all have, I would urge you, request you to pass it on to someone, because that's so important. I'll say one more line on education, which is, we have so much of knowledge out there. You do a search on Google, which I did to find some of these things, and you'll find everything, almost everything that you would want to have is at your fingertip. Today's education is about application of that knowledge, applying what we learn from, what we have learned from Thakurji. I have a book which I will read at some stage, but which was given to me just this evening. But this is knowledge. How we apply is very important. If we can't apply this, that knowledge is of no use to us. And again, I would urge you to apply the knowledge. How do we do that? It's not very difficult. Pick on areas which you believe, and all of us, we have some, we will know some of the teachings of Thakurji. Pick one area, apply it for 1 week in your life. Whether it's to do with education, whether it's to do with contentment, whether it's to do with meditation, anything. Pick one area, apply for 1 week, and if you think that it's working, keep going. One other area which Thakurji also had a lot of things to say on was making the surrounding a better place. And I always say that we should always hand over things in a better shape and form than what it was given to us. We live in this area. When we leave this hall, we should leave it in a place in a way that was given to us, or if not better. Thakurji emphasized serving the environment to the extent that our environment is uplifted and positive, as this directly affects us. What we see around us affects us on a daily basis. If there is noise, there is pollution, there is filthiness, it will affect us. So it's very important that we look after our surroundings. Thakurji spent the entire 81 years of his life seeking out the needs of environment, and then went on fulfilling those needs, wants and desires. It was his happiness and pleasure to see others happy, content, and peace-filled, while at the same time encouraging them to grow and reach higher potentials. Thakurji, I think, he wanted people to be the best version of what they were, what they are. And this is again so relevant today, and has been and always will be. Not all of us can be number one in what we want to do. Not everyone will be a prime minister. Not everyone will be number one in the school and college. But what's important is that we be the best version of what we can be, what we possibly can be. Those were some of the areas I think I felt that were so relevant of what, in terms of the teachings and applying. I'm sure a lot of you have spent most of your life on a range of teachings following the values and principles of Thakurji. I would like to mention one other thing, which is on 2nd of September 1987, the government of India released a postage stamp featuring Thakurji and acknowledging the contribution Thakurji has made to humanity. Thakurji has led a lot of us into a life of light and bliss, and we must always be thankful for what Thakurji has given through the teachings, through his teachings. There is so much that we can apply in our lives from the teachings of Thakurji. I truly believe that an event like this should be an acknowledgement of those teachings and a step forward towards applying them in our lives. It's my privilege to be here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Samir Pandiji, for that wonderful speech. I would like to now call upon our Krishnadi to please sing a bhajan for us. Krishnadi. Thank you, Krishnadi. Now I'd like to call upon Firoz Bhai to say a few words, please. Firoz Bhai.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Firoz, and thanks to the community to give me this opportunity to talk up here. So, look, I don't know much about Shree Guruji, so if I speak something about him, I might not be able to do justice. But what I picked up from the speakers today, whatever I listened, I just wanted to highlight a few things that I've actually picked up from the experts who believe Shree Guruji. So, one thing is meditation, respecting others, and also empowering others around us. These are the preachings that, as I learned from all of you here, is the preachings from our Guruji. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that and wanted to emphasize that these things are so important that can make a big difference in our community. So, if you look at, there's a lot of light around here, isn't it? We can see a lot of light around here. Yes, this light is kind of lightening all of us here, but imagine if we focus the energy of all the light around here into one area, we can actually make that particular area, maybe it is from our life or in our profession or our community, that focused energy can actually make a big difference. Because now we're not wasting our energies all over the place. We are actually channelizing our energy into some specific positive directions. Meditation basically does the same thing. If we practice meditation, which I do as well, and it really helps, because then you can channelize your energies into some specific areas that you wanted to improve on. That could be your personal as well. So that's very important. And meditation, I just wanted to emphasize to everybody, is really important as well. Respecting others, irrespective of whether what caste, what creed, what religion. If you just embrace everybody, if you respect everybody, imagine the kind of environment you're creating around yourself as well. Wherever you go, you're smiling at everybody, you're meeting and greeting them from your bottom of your heart, actually. And that shows the respect. Respect just doesn't come out of words, it comes out of the way you behave with others at the same time. So if you do that, what sort of difference it's going to make to the community? Because you're now radiating a positive energy around you by respecting everybody, accepting everybody. I think that is one of the biggest preaching from Shree Guruji. So that is something which we all have to really bring into our lives rather than just talking about it. Other thing is empowering everybody, empowering people around you. So if you look at our general human tendency is to get jealous of somebody else. If we see somebody getting success, or if we see somebody doing something that we wanted to do but we never did or we never tried, there's a kind of feeling of jealousy, and there's a general tendency to try to not support that person. Maybe not putting him back, but not really support him, right? And what that does is, you could have actually supported that person in a way that you learn from that person and you contribute and you also grow. But what you did is you created a distance from that person or whatever that person was doing. And what you miss out is you're not learning from him. You're not associating with him. And you're going down. That person is going to accelerate and you'll get the success what you want to do. But because you're not trying to empower that person, you're kind of lagging behind yourself. That is the power, really empowering everyone around you. Contribute, no matter how small, how big, try to contribute. And this is something which I do in my job as well. So I manage a big team. So my idea of managing my teams is to basically empower each and every team member. And what that produces, a high-performing team. Right? And my team always makes a big difference in my office. And this is how I operate everywhere. And this is the reason I actually met my Guruji, which is Ambaji. He's not here today, and I'm kind of representing him as well. So, and he also taught me the same thing, that respect everyone, help everyone. So these are the three things that I really wanted to emphasize, and which is what I learned from all of you today. Yeah? And I just picked up these 3 points from each of the speakers. And this is I wanted to highlight is the preaching from Shree Guruji as well. So that's what I wanted to say. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Firoz Bhai. Now we'll call upon our Ritvik Shubhasda to please say a few words. Shubhasda.
परम प्रेममयी परम दयाल श्री श्री ठाकुर आमार परमाराध्या जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़मा परम पूज्यपाद आचार्यदेव श्री श्री बरदा वर्तमान आचार्यदेव पूज्यपाद श्री श्री दादा पूजनीय बाबा दादा श्री चरण कमले कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। Honorable Chief Guest Utsav Sharma ji, Guest of Honor Councillor Shamir Pandey ji, all brothers, mothers present here, I would like to offer my pranam, respect and regards to all of you. And thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us today to celebrate 132nd birth anniversary of Shree Thakur Anukulachandra. So today, all the Guru Bhai contributed a lot to organize these functions for us to celebrate our Lord loved Shree Thakur Anukulachandra's birth anniversary. I'd like to pray to Shree Thakur that He shower His infinite mercy to all of you, as such we could lead a healthy, happy and blissful life. Our previous speakers and Utsav Sharma ji and Shamir Pandey ji has spoken and given us a lot of wisdoms about Thakurji's philosophy. Thakurji said, within home, love, knowledge and activity are spontaneous. An inclination towards home, the scattered lives of men find a final solution, is the God of man. So we are talking about love, we are talking about knowledge, and another thing Thakurji added is activity. When we see Thakur's life about love, you know, Shree Thakur has millions of followers around him. In his lifetime, people from east and west, a lot of people has met him, accepted him as their spiritual guru, including some prominent personalities then in India. And everyone found him that he loves him the most. Maybe he had said just few words to him, and within that few words they found so much of inspirations to follow him in their life, and they spoke about him, and they felt that he is the person who loved him the most. That kind of feeling everyone had. And we are lucky, we are fortunate that he has left his generations. You know, Shri Bharda, his eldest son, Pujyapat Shri Dada, his grandson who is our Acharya, we have seen the same thing. If you meet them, if you ever have a chance to meet them, you will find that such a loving personality you would never find anywhere in the world. such a loving personality, such a loving, soothing personality. If you meet them, if you speak to him, then for a little while, you will feel that in your life, that he loves you the most. So this is love that Sri Thakur had for everyone. As Samir Pandeyji said, he gave us a lot of wisdom. He had profound wisdom, knowledge. So another thing is knowledge. So when a scientist met him, Krishna Prasanna Bhattacharya, budding scientist, working with C.V. Raman, came to Sri Thakur. He was a non-believer of God. He did not believe in spirituality. He did not believe in God or anything. He came to Sri Thakur. Someone took him that, look, my Guruji is there. Go and meet him. He said, I don't believe in God. Why should I meet him? But he just forced him. Come with me. Come along. Then he went and see him. And when they started discussions, then Thakur says, I could see the dancing of electron, proton, neutron with my hand. Could you see that? Krishna Prasanna Bhattacharya. Then he started on explaining that the complex part of quantum mechanics, that research was going on at that time and science was not able to reach there, penetrate there. He was talking about all that things. And then Krishna Prasanna Bhattacharya said, how did you know all these things? How it is possible for you to know so much of science? You have not got any education in physics. You might have got some education in medicine. But the research that is going on, and science is not able to penetrate there. How could you reveal so much of things of science? And that was his realization about science. Then he bowed down his head in front of Thakurji, accepted him as Guru, forgot about his research, forgot about his quantum mechanics, forgot about his Nobel Award, came to Sri Thakur, spent all of his life, and accepted him as a Guru, and spent all of his life. And not only his life, his next generation is still serving Thakurji's mission. That's what Thakurji is. P.C. Sarkar, who is the famous magician, came to Sri Thakur. And after coming to Sri Thakur, he said, Thakur, I have seen your messages. The Satyanusaran, this book. At the very beginning he said, if you want to have name, fame, or riches, don't make me your master. If mastery within you not awake, master, center, none you have. Deceiving, you shall be deceived. So, we go to spiritual masters or gurus for what? For some name or fame, or riches. Like you go to temple for what? If we are suffering on something, we go to temple and pray to God. Like, Thakur, make my wife better. Or, hey God, give me a good job. Or something else. We always ask some favor from him. We build a trading relationship, not a loving relationship. Not a loving relationship with him. We always want something from him. And some people make promises. If you do this for me, Thakur or God, I will offer you something. Not before that even. So we make this kind of trading relationship with our Lord, when we go to temple. But Thakur says, if mastery within you does not awake, master, center, none you have, deceiving, you shall be deceived. So, the relationship with God is such that Thakurji said, like you being and becoming depend on one thing. His philosophy is for every individual being, for his becoming. Attachment towards your beloved or superior beloved or a guru. So that's the first thing, like Thakurji said, if you are not attached to the source, you'll be deprived of all the resources. in our life, we're just hungry for our resources to gain resources, isn't it? We are here in this Western world where we don't have any problem of materialistic life, but still we are just running for money, running for a good car, running for a big house or a palace-like house. You know, like if it's a small cottage house, we are not happy with that. We want more, more and more, you know. So if we do that, then what happens is like if you are not attached to that source, we'll be gradually deprived of all the resources. And how does this happen? You know, like we probably, you know, there are two things in life, Thakurji says. One is ambition and one is inspiration. What ambition does to us? Ambition does all these things, running for our material life, you know. And for that, we are ready to do anything, you know. If it needs to be in the sacrifice of the family, you know, like we don't give them time, we just running for our own success, you know. I need to be a director tomorrow, you know, I need to be a CEO tomorrow, and we're running for that. Maybe I don't spend much of time with family. I say like, look, I'm busy, I don't have time. Ask my wife that is dinner ready. You know, if she's not ready, I get angry because I don't have time, you know, like I'll have to eat and complete another 10 emails, you know, like send some emails and some important messages to other colleagues or someone in the US or something, you know, we're so busy, like, you know. And then at the end of the day, we reach to that point as a CEO. Then I find that I don't have a loving relationship with my family man, you know, like my children. My wife doesn't like me. I'm not respected at the family. At the end of the day, you know, like I became depressed. So we reach there, but we become depressed. So this sustainability, another thing that Thakurji wanted us to have in our life, you know, like sustainable growth. You know, the sustainability word is very kind of catching word in these days. You know, like the growth that we have, it needs to be sustainable. You know, it needs to carry everyone with us. You know, as Firoz Bhai was saying, just empowering others as well. We don't think of those things. You know, but that's what Thakurji has said, like if we're not attached to the source, we are not a kind of balanced person, you know, like we're just becoming imbalanced. We're just running after this passion-centric life. The complexes is killing us in our life, you know, like love, like Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsarya. These are the 6 complexes that we have in our life. We're just driven by them. But as Shuddhananda mentioned, like we need to adjust them. And how we adjust them? We need to be inspired. You know, like as I said, ambition. Ambition leads us to complexes, and complexes ruined our life at the end. You know, we have seen so many examples. You see, like there's no, like if you see the life of great personalities amongst us, Michael Jackson was a talented singer. He didn't have any problem with wealth or money or anything, and he charmed the whole world with his talent. But at the end of the day, we found that he killed himself. So as Robin Williams, such a talented actor. And at the end, he committed suicide. And I remember, like when Robin Williams was alive, and when Justin Bieber was becoming very famous, that he said he's very scared of Justin Bieber, you know, like, because someday probably he will fall into depression like him. You know. So how we can overcome this depression in our life? How we can do that? That's the path Thakurji has said. You know, like if we are not attached to the source, so with that attachment to the superior beloved is the fundamental thing in our life. If we don't have the attachment, you know, like either at any cost, you know, like we are just running for those resources which are not giving us a kind of balanced life or balanced state of mind. You know, like we're just going for that, and at the end, which comes in our life is the depression. You know? As I started with the message of like the story of Pishi Sarkar. So Pishi Sarkar came to Thakur, you know, like he said, Thakur, what's the magic that so many people come to you, and you are saying that don't come to me if you want name, fame, or riches. But why do they come to you? What magic you do to these people? And whoever come in contact with you, they don't go away from you. They stick like a glue within you, you know, like within your surroundings. What magic you have done that so many scientists, so many engineers, so many budding doctors are with you all the time, living with their professions. What magic you have done to them? Thakur just smiled at him. Thakur just said, I don't know if I had any magic within me. But if you want to know the magic, go and ask this person in Anand Bazar called Jyotinananda Jha, Vinodananda Jha. So he got to, then P.C. Sarkar found this Vinodananda Jha, and Anand Bazar is a kind of common kitchen for people, as I think you mentioned, Shatanuda, that where the food is provided at free of cost to all the devotees who ever visit, and even non-devotees, Then he went there, and he found Vinodananda Jha, and said, you have to tell me the magic of Thakur, that he has made so many people to come here, and they are following how he is doing all these things, Then he was serving some food, he has 2 buckets of rice in 2 hands, and he was serving those foods to the devotees, and he said, you want to know the magic of Thakur? Then he put down those bucket of rice, and he said he is kind of very well-built person, is very kind of well-built person with 2 hands. He's just so like this, and these 2 hands has killed probably hundreds of people. And there is no crime in the world that 2 hands has not done. But when I came in contact with Thakur, everything in my life changed. I understood my mistakes, and he helped me to come to the mainstream of life. That's his magic is. So I started with 2 things. One is ambition, and another one is inspiration. So he inspired us to empower others, to be a good human being, and for our own transformation. In our life, all of us, we are not pure in the form that he wanted us to be pure. We all have some complexes. We are driven by complexes. That's the nature of the human being. But if we are attached to him, we get inspired. And through that inspiration, all the good qualities he could impart to us. A lot of speakers today, including our Amida from Nepal, spoke about meditation. And I think he also touched upon in the meditation. There's a kind of, again, catching a word in this Western world even today, meditation. But what meditation does? What meditation does to us, and how we should do meditation, we need to know that as well. So there are 2 things. One is mindfulness, another is meditation, right? What mindfulness does is makes us aware about our surroundings, what is happening, right? And meditation is what? We meditate on some object. So we need to know in a proper way how to meditate. How to meditate in a proper way, Thakurji has given us. Like Thakurji said, the holy name and love, 2 things can conquer this universe. If you want to conquer this universe, you need 2 weapons. One is love, another one is the holy name. So what holy name does to us? Makes us calm. And repetition of the holy name makes us more intelligent. Makes us more intelligent and calm and receptive. So we would be able to, if we meditate. And another thing Thakurji said, this meditation, object of meditation, need to be your superior beloved. If you meditate towards a rock, or if you meditate on harmonium, standing here, you'll be able to tune your music in a better way. But if you meditate, your object of meditation, when your supreme beloved, that's become very, very useful. Like when supreme beloved, as I said, love, knowledge, and activity. These are the 3 things that God has. And when we meditate, all the knowledge he has, all the good qualities he has, it gets imparted on us. When we meditate on Thakurji, all the good qualities that Thakurji has gets imparted on. And the holy name and repetition of the holy name works in the brain, and we become more intelligent, become more receptive, and we understand things in a better way. When Chittaranjan Das came to Sri Thakur, as you know, all know Chittaranjan Das was a freedom fighter and also the president of Indian National Congress as well. So when he came to Sri Thakur, he said, after coming to Sri Thakur, the things which was not clear to him, which was very unclear to him, became so much clearer. That means all the knowledge Sri Thakur has, gradually got imparted on him. Similar, if you put a piece of iron bar close to a magnet, it gets imparted. The magnetic properties of the magnet, get imparted to the iron bar because of the close connections between them, and it becomes like magnet-like. Similarly, if we are close to him, we are attached to him, all the good qualities that he has gets imparted on us through this process, and there is no other process it could transform your life. I can guarantee you. That's what Thakurji's message is about. If you are not attached to the source, you'll be deprived of all the resources. And if you are attached to the source, you will be able to gradually transform your life, your passion-centric life, complex-driven life, to a blissful life. Then you will have all the good qualities that we need to have, to serve our environment. Like he said in Bengali, "Para porsi tor nipat jabe tui ghore suk khabi buji, ja chute ja oder bacha orai je tor bachar buji." We are talking about, again, like we touched upon the environment today so much. The messages of Sri Thakur, and empathy, compassion, even for a plant, was so vivid. Like he would never allow anyone to cut any trees. Even if a branch of trees, is being cut by some means, through some construction or something, he would cry there until you repair that tree. Like he would not sleep. He would not sleep even. So much of compassion, not only for human being, not only for us, even for the environment as well. So much. So that's why if you see, like in any ashram, Thakurji's ashram, no trees will be allowed to cut. Like you will see, like they will make it beautiful, even like surrounding that. That's the kind of things. Teaching of him is so important for us, even in this age, like when we are suffering from all these natural calamities, climate change and all that things. He touched upon everything. How we could create a better environment around us. How we could save all the trees around us. How we could save every creature around us. So if you talk about ecosystem, if you talk about environment, if you talk about climate change, he touched upon everything. He left no stone unturned for our own betterment, as well as the environment around us. He said, if you do not nurture your environment, if you do not serve your environment, because you are getting all the resources from environment, how you imagine that you will survive? So his message to everyone is to nurture the environment around you. As such, everyone do their bit. And if we don't do that, we won't be able to survive. He has given that message to us very clearly. That it's not possible. That's why empowering others, loving others, and creating that environment which is conducive to our benefit or our own living, that's where we need to go. And that's the message of Sri Thakur in this day. Like when we are not caring for the environment and we are thinking that all the ice is going to melt and all these things, but we are responsible for all this. And we have not listened to the messages of Sri Thakur, what he has said to us and what he had told us and what he has done for us as well. He has taught all those things in the ashram, like how to care for the environment. And cleanliness, like I have taken few people with me, some prominent people from abroad, and when they went to ashram, they said, like, it's not like India, like we are somewhere else. And I said, that's the beauty of Thakur. That's the teaching of Thakur. If you enter the ashram, you will find the difference within ashram and outside ashram. But what he wanted, through his disciple, wanted to create this ashram everywhere. All the environment, will be cleaned, neat, and all these missions that politicians are saying, Narendra Modi is trying as well, to have a better, clean India movement that he has started. That teaching was started long ago by Sri Thakur in his ashram itself, So that's about the environment, and if we have him in our life, he always help us to elevate in our life, like he always help us for our own elevation. As Thakurji's teaching is being and becoming, is for our own betterment, So there is a Ram Lila going on in one place, and the son was asking Father, please take me to the Ram Lila. And Father was very busy. As I said, like our life is so complex driven, we are just thinking of our own self, right? He said, son, I'm very busy, I won't be able to take you to the Ram Lila. And Shan is saying, no daddy, you'll have to take me to the Ram Lila. I want to go to the Ram Lila. And with so much of pleading from Shan, he was not able to resist his request, out of his request, he took him to the Ram Lila. And when he went to the Ram Lila, along with his father, after 2-3 minutes, he said, Dad, I want to go home. And father said, why son? Out of a request, I left all my work and took you to the Ram Lila, and you want to go home now? And he started crying, no daddy, I do not want to stay here, I want to go home. Then father got shocked. What happened to him? He was just pleading me so many times that he wants to come to the Ram Lila, and he wanted me to go back. Then Shan was like this, like your son's age, and walking with him to the Mela, and so many crowds, so many people, it's a big crowd, large crowd there. And when he just stand like this and asked son, why don't you want to see the Ram Lila? He found that what he is watching is legs of people's songs, So the son was just walking along him, couldn't see anything. He was just watching the legs, and he was not interested at all. So what he did, he lifted him up and put him on his shoulder. And then son said, oh, such a beautiful thing, I do not want to go back, father, I do not want to go back. The message here is like our life is like that, like we are not able to see things properly. And when we have him in our life, he lifted us, he see through our eyes, see the problem that you are going to face, and he lifted us in his soldier and give us that enjoyment that we are deserving in our life. That's called real enjoyment. So it's only possible if we hold his hand, then he understands our problem. Thakur says, we all know Lord Jagannath. A lot of people are from here, from Odisha, they worship Lord Jagannath. And if we see Jagannath's, you have seen Jagannath's idol, right? He does not have hands, he does not have legs, but he is our Lord. We Hindus worship him as a Lord. So Lord doesn't have hands, Lord doesn't have legs, and he's our Lord. How it is possible? Thakurji said, all these things that you see in this world, everything has meaning. And that's why his knowledge is so profound. See his explanation. Thakurji said, he does not have hands, he does not have legs. What you need to do is you need to hold him, then he can carry you along with him. He can carry you along with him. That's why we worship him. We try to be attached to him. If we are attached to him, if we are attached to our Supreme Beloved, he could lift us up. He could show us the path. He could give us the enjoyment that we deserve in our life. He could elevate us in our life. That's the message that Sri Thakur has given to us. Do we have any more time today? Okay. So that's the message, and I would like to request everyone, these teachings, this philosophy of Sri Thakur is so profound, so great, And it's also another thing that I would like to emphasize, like we always create a community when the religion starts, like it ends up with a community kind of thing. And we have communal violences around the world, which is killing us basically. Thakurji defined dharma is the path of being and becoming and live and grow. That's the main message of dharma. But what we have made is, dharma is we made it as a community kind of things. What he wanted us to do, come out of that, bring every people together, to create this divine unifying platform that Thakurji has created. He brought people from all the communities. So if you go to Satsang, you'll find people from Indian community, Hindu community, Muslim community, Jain community, Sikh community and Christian community all together. And are they converted? No, they converge. They accepted Sri Thakur as their living ideal, and they are going through their path to reach Jesus, to reach Rasul, to reach Krishna, to reach Guru Nanak, whoever their Guru or whoever their prophet is. That's the message of Sri Thakur. When Christian people from United States came to Sri Thakur, out of the love of Sri Thakur, they stayed with Thakur for their whole life. And some of them were graduated from Harvard University at that time. He had a very luxurious life and all that. And he left all that. And with hardship, spent whole life with Sri Thakur. It used to be days when they did not have even 2 meals. And he was a graduate from Harvard University, and he would have a beautiful, luxurious life in the West. But he spent all his life with Sri Thakur, out of that love, And when time was passing by, he said, Thakur, I'm so charmed about your religion. I'm so charmed about your teaching. I would like to change my religion from Christianity to your religion. And Thakurji said, that will be a big insult to me and Satsang. But I would like to reach your Jesus. And if I could help you to reach there, follow me. I will let you to reach there. So like that, people from different communities, when they came in contact with him, they found that they have been fulfilled by Sri Thakur to reach their goal in life. No conversion, it's just all convergence. So he wanted to converge people from all communities to come together and come to this divine unifying platform and live in a kind of harmonious, peaceful ways where everyone can coexist. So I'd like to request all of you, if you have not accepted Sri Thakur as your living ideal, please do that. And please follow him in your life for a better life. I'm sure that bliss and elixir that life has. He said, love is the elixir of life, and he is the source of all the love that we need in our life. You will have that in your life. I'd like to pray again on the Lord's feet of Sri Thakur that he shower his infinite mercy on all of you that who are present here, and also would like to pray to Sri Thakur that he bless our Damodar Thakurji as such he could recover from his illness as quickly as possible. Jai Guru.
Thank you, Shwazda. We'll end the program with Kirtan. Can I request all our Guru Bhais to please assemble here on the stage?
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं परम प्रेममय परम दयाल श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूलचंद्र जी की परम प्रेममय परम दयाल श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूलचंद्र जी की परम प्रेममय परम दयाल श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूलचंद्र जी की परमाराध्या जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़ माँ की परमाराध्या जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़ माँ की परमाराध्या जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़ माँ की परम पूज्य पाद आचार्य देव श्री श्री बड़दा की परम पूज्य पाद आचार्य देव श्री श्री बड़दा की परम पूज्य पाद आचार्य देव श्री श्री बड़दा की वर्तमान आचार्य देव पूज्य पाद श्री श्री दादा की पूज्य पाद श्री श्री दादा की पूज्य पाद श्री श्री दादा की सत्संग की वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं वंदे आर्य पितृन् वंदे मातृवर्गान् वंदे हम कृष्टि दैवतम् वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं वंदे पुरुषोत्तमं। So we'd like to conclude our Utsav with this, and I would like to thank you all for coming to this program. Thank you Harishchandra Sharma ji for coming to this program even with your health conditions. Thank you Shamir Pandey ji for coming to this program, and I'd like to thank all Guru Bhai, who has worked so much in few days. All our, as you know, all our working people here, everyone has work and all that. In spite of that, they put so much of effort to have this Utsav, and I'd like to thank everyone for their contribution, and also thank you for all the attendees who has come all the way with their busy schedule. And with that, I would like to pray again on the lotus feet of Sri Sri Thakur that he shower his infinite mercy to all of you who has been present here today. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru again, everyone, for joining us, and hopefully we are really getting blessed from Thakur to be present in his birth anniversary. So after thanking all of you, I will request kindly to a little bit wait. We have our dinner with us, pure vegetarian dinner for sure. So it will be definitely tasty. So just please wait, and I will prompt you when they are ready. They will be ready like a couple of minutes. Thank you.